Chapter 1. No One's Crazy. Chapter 1 opens with a simple but powerful idea. When it comes to money, everyone's behaviour makes sense to them, even if it looks irrational or ridiculous to someone else. The author explains that people do crazy things with money, but really it's not about being crazy. It's about having different experiences, different upbringings, different worlds. We're all shaped by the environment we grew up in, the wealth or poverty around us, inflation or stability, booms or recessions, risks that paid off or didn't. Every one of those moments leaves a mark, and those marks shape how we view money today. The book gives examples to show how wildly different these perspectives can be. For instance, someone who grew up in poverty might see money as something fragile and fleeting. They think about risks differently than someone raised in wealth. Someone who lived through high inflation will view price increases and investments differently than someone who's only ever known low inflation. It even points out that our personal experiences with money make up a tiny fraction of everything that's ever happened in the world, yet they shape nearly all of how we think the world works. So while your view feels like reality, it's really just a narrow slice of it. And that's why two people can argue about what's smart or safe with money and both be right in their own way. The chapter brings in historical stories too, like how, before World War II, most Americans worked until they died. Retirement wasn't expected. People didn't assume they'd stop working at 65. Social security, pensions, retirement accounts, those ideas are actually very recent inventions. For most of history, people didn't save for decades of retirement because retirement itself wasn't a norm. The author uses this to explain why so many people struggle with saving and investing for retirement today. We're not crazy or lazy, we're just new to this. The systems of retirement, pensions, college loans, even stock market investing for the everyday person, they're all relatively young. We don't have generations of experience passed down. We're figuring it out as we go, often making mistakes along the way. Another example the chapter gives is about lottery tickets. On the surface, it seems irrational. The odds are terrible. But for people living paycheck to paycheck, a lottery ticket isn't just a gamble. It's hope. It's buying a small chance at something better when every other door feels closed. And if you've grown up surrounded by scarcity, that hope makes sense in a way that wealthier people might never fully understand. Throughout the chapter, the author keeps coming back to this idea. Every financial decision we make feels logical in the moment because it fits into the story we've built from our unique life experiences. People don't sit down with a calculator to make every choice. They make decisions based on emotions, memories, fears, dreams, and what they've seen work or fail before. And that's why the book argues no one's crazy. People aren't wrong or irrational. They're just reacting to the world as they've known it. So, the key takeaway from Chapter 1 is this. Money is deeply personal. We all grow up with different experiences that shape what we think is normal, smart, or risky with money. What looks foolish to one person might feel perfectly reasonable to another. Before we judge someone's financial decisions, we need to remember we're all playing different games based on different rules we learned growing up. And because of that, we shouldn't expect everyone to behave the same way or agree on what's right. We also need to recognize that many of our financial systems are still young. Retirement planning, investing, credit cards, student loans, these are all relatively new ideas in the bigger picture of history. So if we feel confused or uncertain, it's not because we're bad with money. It's because we're still figuring it out as a society. In the end, it's not about being crazy. It's about living through different realities. And once we see that, we can start to understand why people make the choices they do, even if they're not the choices we'd make ourselves.